Tehran's story doesn't start with it being a grand, global capital city. For many centuries, Tehran was just a simple village. It sat in the shadow of the ancient city of Rey. But its smart location at the base of the Alborz Mountains and along important trade routes held the seeds of its future importance. This village offered protection and resources, slowly gaining fame as bigger, more established cities started to decline. This slow rise sped up with the Mongol invasion, which, even though it destroyed Rey, accidentally pushed people and their influence to Tehran's more defensible spot. It was a slow, natural growth, showing how tough the city was and how important its location was, laying the groundwork for the big city we see today. A big moment in Tehran's history happened in 1796. Agha Mohammad Khan, who started the Qajar dynasty, declared this small but important city his capital. This wasn't a random choice. Its closeness to the Qajar tribe's lands in the north and its control over key east-west and north-south routes made it a perfect center of power. This royal order changed Tehran almost overnight. Palaces, mosques, and government buildings started to pop up, bringing in traders, craftspeople, and government workers from all over the Persian Empire. The city began to take on the feel of a capital. Its future forever changed from a small town to the political heart of a nation. The 20th century brought big changes, reshaping Tehran's look. Under the Pahlavi dynasty, especially Reza Shah, the city went through a strong and ambitious program to become modern. The old city walls were torn down to make way for wide, straight roads, and European-style buildings started to fill the skyline. This time saw the creation of important places like the University of Tehran, making its role as a center for thinking even stronger. This time of Western-style development ended suddenly with the Islamic Revolution in 1979, which started a new chapter defined by different cultural, political, and social values, greatly changing the city's identity once again. Today, Tehran is a complex tapestry woven from these different historical threads. Its streets are a living museum, where Qajar-era palaces stand next to modern concrete buildings and revolutionary murals. The city shows the nation's journey through kings, modern times, and revolution. Each time period has left its mark, from the layout of its oldest neighborhoods to the names of its biggest streets. Understanding these layers of history is key to understanding Tehran's strategic importance and its many different sides, a city that is always changing itself, but stays strongly connected to its past. Tehran, without a doubt, is the undisputed economic engine of Iran. It serves as the country's main financial and business hub, bringing together most of the industrial base and the headquarters of state companies within its large metropolitan area. Major banks, the Tehran Stock Exchange, and the main offices of state-owned companies are all located here, creating a strong link between money and decisions. This gathering of economic power means that national economic policies, global market changes, and investment trends are felt here first and most strongly, spreading throughout the country. The city's industrial landscape is very diverse, showing its central role in the national economy. Key sectors include car manufacturing, with Iran's main car makers having their factories and main assembly lines in or around the capital. Also, industries like electronics, medicines, textiles, and processed food products all add a lot to its economic output. The Grand Bazaar, a historic and maze-like market, remains a very important place for trade, handling a lot of national and international trade, and acting as a sign of the overall economic health. Infrastructure is the framework on which Tehran's economic power is built. The city is the center of Iran's national road and rail network, connecting the capital to ports in the south and borders in every direction. Its two international airports, Mehrabad and Imam Khomeini, handle most of the country's air traffic, making business travel and cargo transport easier. This advanced infrastructure supports its role as a key logistics point, making sure that goods and people flow through Tehran, further strengthening its business importance and making it very important for national and regional trade. However, Tehran's economic potential is always being held back by the effects of international sanctions. These economic limits have historically made it hard to get foreign money, technology, and access to global financial markets, forcing many industries to depend on local abilities and other trade routes. While this has helped the country become more self-reliant and strong, it has also slowed down growth and new ideas in key areas. So, the city's economy is in a strange situation, strong and powerful within the country, but constantly limited by global forces beyond its control. Tehran owes its existence to its lucky geography. Sitting at the southern base of the tall Alborz Mountains, The city has always had a more reliable water supply than many other parts of the dry Iranian plateau. The mountains act like a natural wall, catching rain and feeding the rivers and underground water sources that have quenched the city's thirst for centuries. This access to water was the most important reason for its early settlement and later growth, allowing a large population to thrive in an area where this precious resource is scarce. The fertile land on the city's edges, fed by mountain runoff, has traditionally supported a lively farming sector. These suburban farms and gardens produce fresh fruits, vegetables, and dairy products for the capital's large population, reducing its need for food to be transported long distances. The closeness of these farmlands to the city markets creates a win-win relationship, providing fresh produce for city dwellers while offering a ready market for farmers. However, fast city growth poses a constant threat, eating away at this valuable greenbelt and replacing fertile land with concrete and asphalt. Despite its geographical advantages, Tehran faces a severe and ongoing environmental crisis, especially in the form of air pollution. A mix of things causes this constant problem: the huge amount of traffic from millions of vehicles, many of which are old and not efficient, heavy industrial activity in and around the city, and a natural event called thermal inversion, where the surrounding mountains trap polluted air over the city, especially during the winter months. This creates a thick, toxic smog that poses serious health risks to its people and often forces schools and businesses to close. Managing its natural resources has become one of Tehran's biggest strategic challenges. The demand for water from its growing population and industries puts great strain on its rivers and underground water sources, causing the ground to sink in some areas because too much groundwater is being taken out. Balancing the needs of city development with keeping farmland safe and the urgent need to fight air and water pollution requires complex and long-term planning. The city's future health depends entirely on its ability to manage this delicate balance between its natural gifts and the pressures of modern city life. Tehran is the undisputed heart of Iran's tech and science dreams. Tehran is home to the country's most famous universities, including the University of Tehran, Sharif University of Technology, and Amir Kabir University of Technology. These places are like training grounds for Iran's best engineers, scientists, and researchers, creating a highly educated and skilled workforce. They act like nurseries for advanced research in many areas, from nuclear engineering and aerospace to biotech and computer science, producing a steady stream of smart people who power the city's innovation scene. In recent years, Tehran has seen a huge boom in its tech startup world. Even with big problems like international rules and internet limits, a group of strong and creative business people has shown up. They've made local answers for online shopping, online taxi services, food delivery, and money tech, creating Iranian versions of well-known global platforms. Tech centers and startup helpers have popped up all over the city, giving advice, money, and places to work together for these new companies to grow, showing a strong push for new ideas from the ground up. The city also acts as the main spot for Iran's advanced industries and defense tech. Many companies connected to the government that work on making advanced military tools, aerospace tech, and nuclear research have their main offices or big operations in the capital. This gathering of high-tech defense and important industries makes Tehran not just a center for everyday innovation, but also the main spot for the country's most important and advanced tech programs, mixing school research with national safety goals. These tech steps forward are helped by a growing network of science and tech parks and special industrial areas on the city's edge. These areas are made to encourage teamwork between universities, research places, and private companies, making new ideas become real products faster. Even though there are still problems with internet speed and getting to global online sites, the city's role as a tech melting pot keeps growing. Tehran's ability to help small startups and government-led important industries puts it in a key spot for Iran's future in a tech-driven world.